Okay, there's another book from Osho. This one is called Love, Freedom, and Aloneness. And this is one of the first books I read by Osho. I think this might have been the second I read. And Osho, like, sometimes he says some stuff and you're like, I don't like this, but he's so true. And when it hits, and it really hits at your core, it hits at your heart, you're like, okay, like, my life can never be the same. And one of the things that he said in this book was, you can't, like, marriage doesn't really have a basis in society because you can't promise the future. The future doesn't exist. The future that we think in our head is merely a projection of the past, and there's nothing else except for the present moment. And when somebody gives you marriage vows, when they say, I'll love you till the end of time, like, that's impossible. You can only love me in this current moment. You can only be true to me in this current moment. And it's really a beautiful sentiment because Osho goes, when you truly love somebody, the only thing you can give them and the only thing that you can really tell them is, like, I love you right now. Like, you are the one for me right now. I am fully devoted to you. I will do anything for you. I will move the heavens and the earth for you in this moment. And it really makes it more beautiful because you think about Romeo and Juliet. Like, Romeo and Juliet was a play that took place over the course of one night, yet it's still seen as one of the greatest love stories of all time. And it really goes to show that, like, love can transcend time. Like, the time frame associated with love has no bearing on how deep the love could be. It's all about the openness and the intimacy and the people understanding each other at a level of their cores that it's so few and far in between in this world. And it's hard for us to grasp these concepts, and especially now as we live in the social media age, and porn is so freely available, and all you can do on Instagram is just see the hottest women you've ever seen, and you're always constantly comparing them to your girlfriend or your wife or whoever it is. And it's just like, we have to start being more present. We have to start understanding what we have today. We have to start understanding that in this moment, I love this person and this is all I can give them, so you have to give them your all. And it's truly a weird sentiment for me to feel as a 24-year-old, but it's like, that is a reality I'm gonna have to face for the rest of my life. Like, I need to find somebody who I can feel myself saying that to for the rest of my life. And if I can't, like, it's something that probably wasn't meant to be. And it's weird, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get into other ideas of this book because I've never really talked about my love life and my emotional state when it comes to that stuff. So we're gonna get on to another section, just so you guys don't know how emotional I can be. But the other thing he said was, in this book, Osho also talks about aloneness, and this is something I've been seeing, at least in my life, really heavily lately. For whatever reason, I've just felt the need to be alone. Like, never in my life have I experienced a moment where I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody right now. I just want to be alone with my own thoughts. I just want to relax. I just want to, go on a walk and look at the trees and look at nature and just feel good with myself. And it's honestly so recharging. It's honestly one of the greatest feelings in the world when you can literally sit in a room alone, no phone, no nothing. You might be on a walk and just experience life. Just experience nature. Just experience your own thoughts, because that's when you find out who you really are. That's when you find out your real thoughts on things and, how healthy your mental state is. Because if you can't sit alone in a room, like, your mind is so overwhelmed and so overworked. And if you can't get to the state where you're literally thinking no thoughts, like, you should really just sit and meditate, because that's an indicator that your mind is overwhelmed and you're being overwhelmed right now with life in general. So just calm down. Just understand that it's okay to be alone. You will live most of your life alone. You will die alone. You were born alone. And it's just a natural part of life. Like, it is just something that we all must face and we all must deal with. So we might as well be okay with it. We might as well accept it. Like, there's going to be moments when you're surrounded by people and you want to be alone. That's fine. There's going to be moments when you're alone, you want to be surrounded by people. We just have to learn to be okay with the states that we are in. We have to go with the flow of our heart. We have to understand that aloneness isn't a bad thing. There are times where I'm sitting alone watching a movie on a Friday night, and I'm so much more happy than I've ever been going out to a club and hitting on girls and doing this and doing that. Like, there's something about being alone when you want to be alone that we need to start embracing. And I feel like if we could start becoming okay with ourselves when we're alone, it's going to be 10 times easier to give all of yourself when you're around others. And it's the same thing, when you're in a relationship. Like, if you're not good with yourself, if you're not happy with yourself, if you aren't good as just an individual, you'll never be good in a relationship, because there's always part of you missing. There's a part of you that you're not okay with. So how are you going to give that to others? How are you going to give that imperfect version of yourself to others? And it's all about understanding, like, everything you've done to this point is fine. It's in the past. It doesn't matter. It has no bearing on you. You're in this moment and you're a new person. Just pretend like that person from 5 years ago doesn't exist. They don't exist anymore. It's only you in this moment, and you have the ability to change who you are. You have the ability to control your thoughts and control your emotions. And, if you weren't good in the past few relationships you were in, it's fine. That's a different person. You're a different person. Just change it. Like, just understand that when you open up to somebody, they open up to you. It's that simple. And Osho says, into me I see is the same. You can't have intimacy without the ability to see into yourself. Intimacy, into me I see. And it's a really interesting principle, and I want us to basically understand these things, because when we can understand ourselves, when we're okay with ourselves, it allows us to be as good as we should be to others. Because Lord knows there are some evil people in this world. Lord knows that there are some people in this world that take advantage of others, but let's not be one of them. Let's spread positivity. Let's spread just joy and happiness, and be the example for the rest of the world to follow. And it all starts with us. It all starts with the things we do each day to make this world a little bit better. And in 10 years, we might be living in an absolute paradise because of our actions today. So I'll leave a link in the description of this book. Thank you so much for making this far. I genuinely, this book is probably one of my favorites from Osho. I've read like 10 now, maybe more, and this one's up there. So thank you so much again. Peace out, guys.